Mike Ingham and Alan Green, your commentary team for Kazakhstan, England.
Good timing, Mark. We've just this second kicked off here in Almaty. The ground is full. That's the central stadium in the country's capital. And England are already under pressure. Mistaken the far side by Johnson. Here's an opportunity. Blocked by Green. Still there inside the penalty area and lashed away. Ostapenko should have put Kazakhstan ahead.
What a miss. What a miss. An open goal. Completely missed the ball.
Unbelievable. And that would have been quicker than the goal in the FA Cup final.
Definitely.
Last Saturday. Well, that was an astonishing start and a bad error by Glenn Johnson on the far side of the team, on the far side of the pitch. England defending the goal to our right in the first half, behind which, along the running track, all the England banners that have been carted all this way into the heart of Asia. Kazakhstan all in blue with yellow flashes, England all in white tonight, and I say tonight deliberately because it's 9 o'clock in the evening here in Almaty, 5 hours ahead of UK time. And what a blow that would have been to England right at the start of the game. Now, before we get into the game properly, let me give you the two liners. First of all, England's goalkeeper is Green. Defenders, well, I use that term loosely after what I saw from Johnson, Upson, Terry and Cole. Then in midfield we've got Walcott, Lampard, Barry, money, and Gerrard. Then Rooney and Heskey. Rooney at the moment is pulling towards the left-hand side, but Gerrard is probably, at the moment, Graham, left midfield.
Yeah, I think we'll see those two changing, though. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
The Kazakhstan team, goalkeeper is Mukin, as England are on the attack at the moment, but the ball clattered upfield by Robert Green, beyond Heskey and through to the goalkeeper Mukin. Their defence, Kizlitsin, Abdulin, Logvinenko and Kirov. In midfield it's Avachenko. Then the captain Karpovic. He's captain because Baltiev, the regular skipper, is unwell. Skoriek and Kukiev who scored the goal at Wembley. Then Nazarbayev and Ostapenko, who could have been a hero within, it must have been less than 20 seconds, Graham.
Alan, there's no way that he should have done anything else but just tap the ball over the line. Glenn Johnson caught in possession very carelessly, cross-whipped in. There it is, you're in the 6-yard box, you're not offside, put it in the net, misses it completely.
I thought we were watching 2020 cricket there. Here's Walcott down the right side. Great pace by Theo Walcott. Edge of the penalty area, but the cross was poor. I don't know whether the ball took a bobble and just affected the delivery. Either way, it wasn't good.
I think he had one of those moments he got round. His shirt was being pulled, there's no doubt about that. But as he was going to strike it with his right foot, he just caught it with his left toe, first of all, and he's put it behind the net. At least we've had an end-to-end opening to start with, and let's hope the game keeps going this way, but England have to be careful.
It's a shame that darkness has fallen so rapidly over the last 30 minutes because the stadium is, well, to the right-hand side, a magnificent mountain range and snow-capped mountain range, and just to emphasise that we really are in Asia for a European qualifier in the World Cup. Beyond those mountains, about a couple of hundred miles, is the border with China. Here's Rooney. Rooney belts it towards the far side of the field. He overhits it. He knew he'd got it wrong. It's well beyond Walcott and out of play. And it's not an encouraging start for England.
Now, there's been a lot of talk about the state of the pitch. It seems very well grassed. One stage, the grass had been allowed to grow exceedingly long. It's been cut, it's down. I have to say, my early moments here, I'm not seeing too many problems with the movement of the ball on the pitch at all.
Well, they played very well in the first half at Wembley, Kazakhstan. I think they went in 1-1. And then, you know, they were actually leading Belarus 1-0 at half-time in their most recent game, but they lost it 5-1. Now they're on the attack again, and they've conceded a throw in on the far side of the field. I think Kukiev thought the throw should have gone to Kazakhstan. It didn't. The referee, by the way, is from Iceland, Christian Jakobsen. Poor man had an interesting journey. His flight was either delayed or just scrapped altogether. Either way, he didn't make it to Almaty until the early hours of this morning and had to get special FIFA permission to be able to look after the game. Here's Kizlitsin getting himself in trouble. Gerrard takes the ball off him, then Kizlitsin gets in a tackle and pokes it out of play. It's a throw into England, level with the edge of the Kazakhstan penalty area. Gerrard throws it back to Gareth Barry, who we can't say of Aston Villa anymore. Now it's Manchester City. Barry on towards Gerrard, overhits the pass, and it skips off the Liverpool skipper's head behind for a goal kick.
In the opening stages, Kukiev on the wide left position for Kazakhstan has looked very lively and very sharp. He put the chance on for Ostapenko to miss, but one or two occasions early on he's prepared to run at Glenn Johnson and have a go at him, and he looks quite lively. We've
played nearly 6 uneasy minutes. Fabio Capello is very animated inside the technical area, unhappy with the way England have started this game. And it's Kukiev who's putting Glenn Johnson under pressure again, but Johnson belts it upfield, one bounce, and it's out of play on the far side for a throw-in to Kazakhstan. Let's get the starting prices from the derby. John Hunt.
Thanks, Alan. The winner was number 12, See the Stars, at 11-4. Second home, number 5, Fame and Glory, 9-4 favourite. And third, after a very tight photo finish, was number 9, Master of the Horse, at 16-1.
Thank you very much, John. 6 minutes played here in Almaty. Kazakhstan 0, England 0, but it should be 1-0 to Kazakhstan, whose only points in this group so far have come from a home win against Andorra. There's a wild shot by Lampard. It must have been 10 yards wide of the goal and high as well.
I'll tell you what, Alan, I think, you know, when an opportunity has been missed like that so early in the game, it seems at the present time just to unsettled England, because they haven't got any of their passing right. When they've looked a little bit for long-range passing as well, that's been way off. And at the present time, it goes down, and you look at Capello in the Technica, he is fuming.
And so is Stuart Pearce, who was alongside him there, but Capello standing, and must be pretty anxious, the Italian coach of England. 0-0 here in Almaty. Good chested pass on by Rooney. Heskey chases after it. Good defending though by Logvinenko, putting it away. It's only a throw-in, not a corner. Very close to the corner flag. Kazakhstan 0, England 0. Throw-in to be taken by Ashley Cole, whose error at Wembley led to the Kazakhstan goal. Not that England fans didn't remind him about it. He throws it to Gerrard. Back to Cole. Cole then volleys the ball harmlessly into the 6-yard box and straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Yeah.
Now you look at the Kazakhstan side, the players, when you get close-ups, they're very young, not a lot of experience at all from an international point of view, but they've certainly opened exceedingly well, and they're giving England problems.
Well, many of them were under Bernd Storck when he was in charge of the under-21 team, and you know, when he took over the full job, he's promoted them. So this is a young, relatively fearless Kazakhstan side, and they started very well here against England. Here's Kukiev for the far side of the field, whose cross should have been turned in by this man, Ostapenko. Ostapenko tackle, and the ball is out. It's going to be a throw-in to Kazakhstan. And terrific noise around the central stadium. The tickets for this game were sold out within hours of them going on sale. Such is the attraction, not just of the World Cup, but of England. You know, it appears to be a big deal here in Almaty that the Stars of England are playing here.
Definitely, and the reception the England players have had from the Kazakhstan, I'll say that right as well, from their supporters has been tremendous, Alan. And I also have to say this from the England supporters' point of view, the respect they showed for the opposition's national anthem as well, for Kazakhstan's national anthem, I thought was very good.
Yep. We're even further east of Azerbaijan.
Yeah, that's it. I've got 2 now.
Don't worry about it. Right, 8.5 minutes played. England with possession. Cole played it rather forcefully to Gerrard. Gerrard, a good pass to the skipper, Terry. Terry onto Lampard. Lampard and Barry are, as we anticipated, sitting quite deep. Now it's with Walcott on the far side, and Walcott moves forward. He got a bit of a push there by Kukiev, and the Icelandic official decides that's a free kick to England, which I thought was going to be taken quickly by Lampard. At this point, we welcome listeners to the BBC World Service. Welcome, and I can say that this is the first time I've ever said this in my commentary career. Welcome to Almaty. And there was a yellow card there.
Yeah, the free kick was tried to be taken quickly, and he was only a yard away, and he stopped it.
Right, but who did he book? I think it's
sure Ostapenko, isn't it? Ostapenko's cautioned. I think it is.
And listeners to World Service will not know that Ostapenko should have...
No, it's not.
Ostapenko should have put Kazakhstan ahead in the first few seconds of the game. It was actually a quite ridiculous miss. Yeah. And it's Nazarbayev who's been yellow carded. England's free kick taken, and it's headed on by Upson inside the penalty area, but well wide of the goal. Graham, for the listeners to World Service who won't have heard what we were describing earlier, just what a mess that was for England in the opening seconds.
Well, I mean, Glenn Johnson dwelt on the ball, lost concentration, and Kukiev took it off him, went into the byline and put a cross into the 6-yard box for Ostapenko with an open goal, and he's completely missed the chance. And I would say we'd only going probably 15 seconds. Should have been 1-0, no doubt about that. It was a bad miss.
Here's Terry, good header on. Gerrard chases after it. Kizlitsin is across. Kizlitsin makes a challenge and is helped out by a colleague. I think it was Skorik who helped him, and the clearance goes to the halfway line. Here's Barrett, foul tackle from behind by Skorik, and that's definitely a free kick to England. And the crowd whistles, and none too happy with that. Beckham was up there, not in any way to get his face in front of the cameras, just to put the ball back onto the pitch for the free kick to be taken. And it has been taken. Gerrard to Lampard. Lampard's pass certainly bobbled towards the far side of the field, towards Glenn Johnson. Now it's with Terry. Terry hits it deep to the left side, too high for Gerrard, and it's out of play for a throw into Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan 0, England 0, after nearly 11 minutes here in the Central Stadium in Almaty. And it is, yes, it's the end of the season. So many of these England players unquestionably are tired. The pitch is poor, but basically there is no excuse whatsoever if England don't leave Almaty with 3 points tonight.
He'd certainly be looking for that. I mean, you only got to look at the league table as what it would do for England. And in Capello's press conference, he was very, very clear, very sound as well. No excuses. These were games that had to be won. And
there's another wickedly overhit pass towards the left-hand side. I mean, it was Terry earlier. This time it was Johnson, and Steven Gerrard had absolutely no chance with it.
I don't know whether there's a policy, and they've been talking about this, but in these early stages of the game, we must have seen half a dozen long diagonal balls being hit. But every one almost has been overhit.
Misdirected or overhit. Now it's belted upfield by Kizlitsin, bouncing just outside the England penalty area and through to Robert Green, who, you know, let's hope it was just early nerves, but I thought he didn't particularly deal with that cross from Kukiev, and he almost presented it on a plate to Ostapenko.
I know this is no excuse from at all, but for me his early position was wrong, because he never expected Glenn Johnson to be caught so carelessly. So his position was wrong.
Here's Gareth Barry. Barry clips it forward, well chested back by Heskey to Gerrard. Gerrard has got Walcott available on the far side, and the pass goes to the Arsenal player. Now Walcott with Rooney and Heskey to his left. Walcott tried to take on the fullback, didn't beat him. Plays it back now to Lampard. Here's Barry, Ashley Cole in support of Gareth Barry. Cole midway inside the Kazakhstan half. And England left side to Barry. Upson, and now Lampard to the captain Terry. And England, just over the last minute or so, appear to have properly settled down at long last, because the start of the game was frightening, nothing short of it. What an awful ball by Upson. What was that meant to be?
Well, what he's saying to Upson, Upson said, well, nobody's showing. I've got the ball at my feet, who's showing for it? And then, of course, he risks getting caught with it, knocks it deep into the channel, as we call it, and runs out for a goal kick. Things are not happy at the present time on the pitch for the England boys.
Right now, Graham, I would just take 1-0. I don't care, a scrappy goal, in off a defender's backside, that'll do. But it's not clever. Kazakhstan 0, England 0, 13 minutes played in Almaty. That's a good challenge by Lampard, and then Lampard tried to squeeze the ball through to Rooney. It was intercepted, it's clipped forward, chased by Nusabayev towards the penalty area. There's Johnson again, looking unsettled, belts it towards the crowd.
He looks very nervous, doesn't he? The one thing about the ball we are saying, the pitch must be dry. It was being watered before, but the ball is bouncing exceedingly high.
Kirov for the throw-in towards Nusabayev, but he miscontrolled that, and it's behind for a goal kick to England. Oh, I was not expecting a nervous evening in Almaty.
It certainly started off that way, hasn't it? There was a little bit of controlled possession by the England players just early to that, but then it ended up with a loose ball, and so it didn't help. It should settle them down, and they need to just have a bit more of that controlled possession, and they feel better about themselves.
Here's Lampard, back to his Chelsea and colleague and skipper Terry, on by Barry to Rooney. Rooney just hustled out of possession. Good play by Kazakhstan, certainly unfrightened. Ostapenko comes forward, and then he's tackled, loses it. Not a great pass, though, by Upson towards Gerrard. The England passing so far has been poor. Ball's inside the centre circle. Lampard to Johnson. Walcott available. Johnson's going to be caught in possession here, though he regains possession, rather fortunately. And then he puts it out of play behind Walcott. That is poor. Settle down, for goodness sake, England. This team has conceded more goals than anybody else in the group, including Andorra. That's Kazakhstan, not England. Here's Gerrard in towards Rooney, knocked away by Kazakhstan, and then Lampard picks up the clearance. It's with Gareth Barry, and Barry plays it left-footed behind Walcott. Now, how many balls hit to the flanks have been misdirected or overhit?
Well, as I say,
must be in double figures now.
It's another one there, and it's off his left foot as well, but way wide of Walcott, and goes out for a throw-in.
Throw-in taken and wasted by Kazakhstan. Walcott goes forward, hustles a defensive error, and then there's a mistake by Barry. Barry pulls down Kukiev, and that's the yellow card surely for Gareth Barry, and that means that Barry will be suspended for the game against Andorra.
Well, it's just typical of the England players at the moment. Caught dwelling on the ball, doesn't know what pass he's going to make, and then gets robbed, pulls the fella down by the shirt. It's a yellow card. This is very surprising, Alan, isn't it? I mean, teams do have bad starts, and we know that, but at the present time, England just aren't at the races.
It's a shambles. That's what it is, Graham. Ostapenko flicks the ball towards the right side. Ashley Cole partly intercepted, gets his body in to block it again, and knocks it out of play for a throw into Kazakhstan, to be taken by Avachenko. Avachenko back to Kizlitsin, on now to Skoriak. Ashley Cole's challenge, over-aggressive, and that might be another word for the England defender, though the referee's quite happy just to leave it as a free kick. 16 and a half minutes played. We've only had one real chance, and what a chance to Ostapenko in the opening seconds of the game. So England, can you believe this? England have got everybody back defending this free kick. It's to be taken by Kukiev, left-footed from the right side. There it goes, swirling in toward the far post. Green kick, missed it completely, and Ostapenko heads it in. Awful goalkeeping by Robert Green, and Ostapenko, oh no, the flag's up for offside. It's been disallowed. England get away with it, not once, twice. Free kick's been taken, but the referee's not happy, and frankly, England don't deserve the counter-attack from that. That was awful.
Well, assistant referee, he's in line, he's given it. We can't see from here, but it never occurred to me when the free kick was taken that anybody was in an offside position. We're seeing a replay.
Yes, he was.
He is, he's got him right. He's in line, it's a good decision.
But worryingly, Graham, what about Robert Green?
Well, he's looking at it, they're not too certain. You're looking at them now. They're just going on to the technical area, but you know, when we saw the replay of the free kick, nobody picked up. Robert Green came out, was miles away from it. So fortunate to get away, England.
England 0-0 with Kazakhstan in Almaty, and it's an apology of an England performance so far. Hey, I'm not going to make any cracks about the Netherlands beating England in the 2020 World Cup, because unfortunately this is beginning to mirror that shocking display. Goal kick to Kazakhstan, and I think the majority of the fans here, the Kazakh fans, came frankly to worship England, and what they're finding here is that Kazakhstan are dominating the game. Here's Kukiev, loses the ball, and it's with Frank Lampard, who loses the ball to Karpovic. Karpovic back to Logvinenko, and Logvinenko on his left foot swirls it over the halfway line, where it's headed forward by Glenn Johnson. Walcott can't control it, and it's out of play for a throw into Kazakhstan.
I think that what England have to do, certainly they've got to get a grip of themselves and get some ball possession, but I would be getting it out to Walcott. He's out wide, he has the pace, and I think that he can be a big threat. But England have to get hold of the ball, get hold of themselves to start with, and start to play.
Do you know what I'm noticing, Graham? On a number of occasions now, England defenders in particular are going safety first. The ball's bouncing their way, and they're not trusting the surface. They're just hitting it out of play. Clear the danger immediately. But there's danger again as Kazakhstan attack. The ball is played back to Robert Green, and I wouldn't fancy a pass back on this surface.
That is bobbling, that's right.
And Green just hits it out of play for a throw-in.
Yeah.
Nearly 20 minutes played. It's a miracle for England that it's still Kazakhstan 0, England 0. England haven't had an attack of any merit whatsoever. Ostapenko missed a chance in the opening seconds, and then his header was correctly ruled out for offside. But goodness gracious, what poor defending by England.
But we talk about the surface, Alan, and we say, yes, it is bobbling, but it only seems to be bobbling and creating problems for one team, and that's the team all in white, which is what England are playing. For the blue team, Kazakhstan, the bobbling doesn't seem to be a problem at all to them.
Here's Terry, and onto the far side to Johnson. The pass was underhit. Johnson skipped away from the challenge. He's being hustled again by Kukiev. Turns away from Kukiev, and then, oh dear. He just hits it 50 yards, straight over the goal line at the other end. No England player within 25 yards.
I think one or two of the England players are looking round and they're making their feelings known to one another. It's all right doing that. You've got to do something about it.
20 shattering minutes played here in Almaty. Listening to 5 Live and the World Service on the BBC. Kazakhstan 0, England 0. Goal kick for Mokin, who's got a cigar out, the Kazakhstan goalkeeper so far, not having anything to do. Headed back by Terry and headed down by Abdullah, and Kirov flicks it towards the halfway line where Ashley Cole heads it straight out of play. A glancing header straight out of play. What was that all about?
Hard to explain, isn't it? It's just it's full of mistakes at the moment.
Kizlitsin to Skoriek, and now Ostapenko comes forward. Ostapenko falls down. He wasn't foul tackle. It was a fair challenge by Gerrard, but here's Kizlitsin again. Kizlitsin and Ostapenko still down, clutching his knee. Now, it wasn't as a result of a foul. Maybe he's hurt himself falling, but he wasn't foul tackled. The referee decides to stop the game and let Ostapenko get some treatment.
I didn't see the incident, but he is laying down and looking out for pain. Now,
Fabio Capello immediately took the opportunity to talk to Steven Gerrard. We're just getting a replay of the incident. There was nothing wrong with Ostapenko at all. Absolutely nothing wrong with him. But there's a lot wrong with this England 11, Graham.
Well, I mean, it's surprising, isn't it? Because you look at it and you say, well, how does this happen? And what you've got to do, you've got to take responsibility, not only individually, but collectively. And get hold of. Yes, it is bobbling, more than I thought it was to start with. But it is for both sides.
Well, somewhere in a corridor in the stadium in Baku is poor Ian Bryan. What news of Wales, Ian?
It's still 0-0. I've escaped the corridor, actually, Alan. A little bit of diplomacy went a long way. I can tell you that Wales have settled pretty well with their young team, average age under 22. More settled than it sounds England are in that part of Asia. Joe Ledley has headed a loopy kind of header over the top of the Azerbaijan bar. It is still 0-0 after 20 minutes.
Thanks very much, Ian. Ostapenko has been stretchered off. So perhaps I did him an injustice. Maybe he is hurt. Certainly treatment to his right knee. By the way, talking of odd positions for people trying to watch this game, representing the media, the English written media all had their tickets sold to Kazakhstan fans, and they're sitting on the touchline. Midway through a crazy first half, 0-0, Mike Ingham.
I actually thought Barry was quite lucky there on a yellow card. I think that was a great challenge at all on Ostapenko. Anyway, he stays on the pitch. England now look to Rooney, and Rooney tries a drive and it's wide, but that's better from England. But I mean, eventually you've got to assume that England will get some control of this game and go on to win it. But boy, are they making heavy weather of it at the moment.
I seem to remember at the game at Wembley, you know, Kazakhstan did well in that first half as well. They did quite well, but here they have been almost totally in charge.
The barometer here is that Ukraine won 3-1, and then, as Alan was saying, Belarus won 5-1. And just to try and again set the scene for you, it's a bit like being in January at the third round of the FA Cup, really, with one of the big guns going to one of the little ones, and the little ones and the crowd showing great respect to the giants and then coming out and absolutely taking the game to them. Ostapenko at the moment is still off the field. He's not looking great either. And England now hit a long ball to the far. It's a better ball from Lampard, finding Johnson. Johnson, who's made a really poor start down that far side, gives the ball away far too cheaply. Kazakhstan just hole. They playing from left to right here. Then they lay it long down the centre. It's a good header coming in from the back from Matthew Upson, but England haven't got rid of it yet. Nursabayev turning over on the left-hand side. Now the fullback, Kirov, and Kirov plays the ball out of play, and England have the throw-in, and looks like they're going to have to replace Ostapenko, who might have scored 2 in the opening 17 minutes here. Should have scored inside the first 20 seconds, and then the header was disallowed for offside. You're listening to 5 Live and BBC World Service. We're in Almaty. England are really struggling here. They yet to really test the goalkeeper Mokin. Now they look to Ashley Cole, and again the ball bounces away from him. And another problem here for Fabio Capello is he's going to have to get Gerrard into the game too, because the game is passing him by at the moment down the left-hand side. Well, at the moment there's been no interchange between Rooney and Gerrard as we've seen previously. Having said that, you know, until they get control of the game and start to get their movements and start to get their passing right,
it's very hard, and so they look at the moment just playing 4-4-2 with Gerrard out wide on the left.
Well, Kazakhstan seem to be preparing a replacement for Ostapenko. England must hope that they run out of steam again in the second half, as they did here against Belarus. For the moment, they're down to 10 men. They're just trying to make the change now before the throw-in is taken. They really wouldn't have wanted to have made this change either, losing Ostapenko, who scored 3 goals here in 2 of the qualifying games. We're going to get an update as Kazakhstan prepare to make a substitution from Nick Mullins watching England-Argentina.
Midway through the first half at Old Trafford, it's England 6, Argentina attacking the Stretford end 3. Juan Martin Hernandez drop goal after 70 seconds put the Pumas ahead, but an Andy Good penalty and then another drop goal from Good has just nudged England ahead, 6-3.
Thank you very much, Nick. Ibraev is going to come on, number 16. There was some speculation that he might start the game. So Ibraev is coming on. Now it's Walcott, the man that Graham Taylor was saying England should try and service down that right-hand side. Rooney comes quite deep, trying to escape the markers. Dinks the ball towards Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole doesn't control it, but the defender's slipped. Ashley Cole juggling with it. Now Gareth Barry takes over. But good pressing by Kazakhstan, forcing Gareth Barry back and out of play. And it's a throw-in for Kazakhstan. Now here comes the change. Number 16, Ibraev, who played at Wembley in that 5-1 defeat.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think he's coming wide right.
Yes, you're right, Graham. Avachenko's gone into the centre.
Yeah.
Avachenko's making his debut, and he's just pointing to Kukayev to stay left-hand side, and he gave England all sorts of problems early on here in Almaty. Now Robert Green on his full debut. Comes out of the penalty area. Kazakhstan 0, England 0. England fortunate not to be behind here as Ashley Cole takes possession. Fabio Capello really hasn't sat down at all in this opening period. 26 minutes gone. And he was dismayed early on, trying to organise his defenders with Stuart Pearce down there. Upson of England finding Ashley Cole. England near side the left. Back again to Upson. Upson, by the way, is playing on John Terry's left. It's usually the other way round when he's at Chelsea, Terry. He's normally closer to Ashley Cole. But it's Upson to the left, Terry to the right. Long ball forward now, looking for the run from Gareth Barry. The ball bounced awkwardly off the surface, and it's going to be a goal kick to Kazakhstan.
We were talking earlier about how young some of the Kazakhstan players are. Avachenko is 17 years of age. And, you know, he's come on the right, he's being asked to move again. But they are very, very youthful when you look at these players.
Well, the entire back four, I just worked it out, has won 17 caps between them. Whereas this England side, with many players over 50 caps, but they're really struggling here. And they don't want to mess up the great start they've made in this group. The ball with the dangerous Kukayev over on the far side, and it's out of play for a Kazakhstan throw-in. Throw-in to Kazakhstan, 15 yards or so inside the England half.
Got the first change of Rooney and Gerrard there, Mike.
Well, that's a welcome sign, I think, in some ways, because they were stagnating, really, the way that they had begun the game. Gerrard was just not getting into the game, not getting hold of the ball. The ball is back with the Kazakhstan keeper. It's a ball clearance straight to Emil Heskey. Heskey 25 yards out. Heskey now onto Gerrard. Gerrard looking for Lampard. A shot coming in from Heskey, and it's hit the post and come across the line, I think, from Heskey, and bounces to safety for Kazakhstan. And all that came about because of a mistake by Mokin with a poor clearance for Heskey. It's a great shot from Heskey. It was a really good effort from the edge of the penalty area.
Does he get a touch of it? Doesn't?
And it was the keeper. Did it actually turn onto the post? It's a corner kick anyway to England. Taken down this near side. Rooney may get this. No, he won't quite. It's just, again, the ball is rearing quite sharply off the surface here.
Might have been a penalty there. I think England had rights for a shout there on Upson. The referee ignored it totally.
Well, that's the brightest moment so far for England. And we're just getting a replay of, well, they're just holding Heskey there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Inside the penalty area. Nothing given. Kazakhstan have a goal kick. Heskey was clearly being manhandled. And Mokin now, who's only played 2 qualifying games, and they've both been against England, clears. And it's got plenty of height, and it's just going to enter the England half. Gerrard can't head it forward. Kizlitsin with a header. Still up in the air. Upson out of play for a Kazakhstan throw-in. Kazakhstan 0, England 0. Nearly half an hour gone here in Almaty in the southeast of Kazakhstan, one of the largest countries in the world, and indeed the largest landlocked country in the world in Central Asia. And Kazakhstan examining England here. Upson's been foul though, and the ball goes behind. In fact, the free kick hasn't been given. It's a goal kick for Robert Green. And just for the first time, it goes a little quieter. And England are just now trying to nudge their way back into this contest, Graham.
I think the fact that, it hit the post and they almost scored again is just quieting people down. Show that, England can have opportunities. But said earlier, I don't think we're going to see a great game at all. I mean, although Kazakhstan have been in charge, they've not had to really play all that well to dominate England, because England just haven't been here.
Kazakhstan, I mean, Capello was saying yesterday, what result would you like? He just says, I want to win. That's all he wants. And Kazakhstan can't qualify, but they're really lifting themselves up here. England have got a corner kick in the meantime, over on the far side, the right-hand side. John Terry, the captain, is there with Upson. Heskey's in the penalty area also. Corner kick to England. 0-0 in Almaty. Upson won't reach that, and it should be cleared by Kazakhstan. Not too well. England still on the edge of the area. Gerrard tried to get a shot and he was tackled. And now Kukiev over on the left-hand side as Lampard tries to get back to hold him up. Kukiev's got great pace. In comes the challenge eventually from Walcott, and the two of them between them eventually take care of Kukiev, but it's a throw into Kazakhstan.
He does like running at people, Kukiev, down on that left flank, as I mentioned earlier, and he has got the pace. And when he gets the ball, the crowd realises that something may happen.
Well, See the Stars won the derby today back in England, and they've all come here to supposedly see the Stars, the Kazakhstan crowd, but they haven't really seen too much quality yet from England. Did I say Kazakhstan? Throw into Kazakhstan over on the left-hand side of the field. 0-0 here in Almaty. The ball is down that left-hand side. Nusabayev in, and Robert Green will take that at the post under no threat at all. He'll just have to hold on here. England regroup, and the ball is thrown out. And now it's Upson of West Ham. On to Barry. And just to repeat what Alan was saying, another yellow card tonight for Barry, so that means that he misses the home game with Andorra, but he will be clear to play Croatia now in September. England building, and it's just starting to get a little more involved. Gerrard. A typical Gerrard ball, releasing Rooney down the left. Rooney didn't control it first time. Heskey in the penalty area. Rooney dabs it back to Ashley Cole. Cole square once more to Gerrard, and you can see he's happier already going into those central areas. Johnson now to Walcott. Far side, the England right. Walcott against the defender, who does really well. Strong play there to deny Theo Walcott. Kazakhstan coming on the break down the left-hand side. Lovely running. There's no Kazakhstan player at the moment in the penalty area, but Johnson takes care of business, finds Walcott, and England now starting to pass a little better. But that's not difficult, really. It was shambolic early on here. Lampard of England, on his 70th appearance for his country, crossed the field to Upson. And now Gerrard takes over on the halfway line. Gerrard with a lovely ball. Ashley Cole dinks it in field, but he hasn't found anyone in white. England all in white tonight, and it's a rush clearance there by Kazakhstan, and it's back again with England and goalkeeper Robert Green. England just starting to show a little bit more authority.
There's no doubt about that, but the absence of the injured Ostapenko, I think, is a great loss for them. We've already seen it. They've lost some of their presence up front, and although Avchenko has come forward, he's a smaller man, he's come into that area, and I think that...
mistake by Gerrard. He's just given it straight back to Kazakhstan. So un-Gerrard-like. Kazakhstan, though, waste the ball. I don't think they're going to keep that in down this near side. And that really sums up England's opening 33 minutes in many ways. Very sloppy, very careless. It's a great crowd here, by the way, this evening. It's not intimidating at all. I mean, this crowd have come to see England as much as Kazakhstan. And when all the England names were announced before the kick-off, many of them got huge cheers, especially Rooney, Lampard, Terry and Gerrard. Throw into England. 0-0 here in Almaty. Heskey's beaten to the ball. That's a high clearance from Abdulin. Johnson off balance, and here comes Walcott now. Goes past two defenders. Walcott down the England right. Rooney's going to race forward and try and support him. Walcott, though, shows too much of the ball to Logvinenko and has to settle for a throw-in down the right.
Well, there we really looked as if he was on his way, but that little touch before the tackle came in just showed the defender too much ball, lost possession. But I still think that ball has to get out to him.
Kazakhstan 0, England 0. Ball played up to the halfway line. Nusabayev, but he's beaten by Johnson. And England start again from the back. And it's Ashley Cole, who had a really good end to the season with Chelsea. Centre circle the ball. And Barry's looking left and right. And then floats it on to Gerrard. Gerrard's headed down towards Lampard. Barry comes into the movement once more. He can't find Gerrard, but he might find Walcott instead. Kazakhstan giving it away. Johnson On to Gerrard, much more involved now. Good pass to Walcott. Heskey tried to flick it on to Steven Gerrard. Heskey again as Kazakhstan failed to clear. Walcott hits the heel of the defender and England have a throw-in. But England now starting to get more players on the edge of the Kazakhstan box.
They're coming more into the game. They're having more possession, what I call controlled possession, shorter passing.
35 minutes gone. Walcott of England now, just inside the penalty area. Fine challenge by the defender, but they fail to prevent the corner kick. And England do have a height advantage here when they have these set pieces. It was John Terry's goal late on which won the game against Ukraine on the 1st of April. That was a big win at Wembley. It's 0-0 here at Kazakhstan, and it's an England corner down the far side, the right-hand side, and it's Terry's header, but the goalkeeper's right behind it.
Terry complaining to the referee again that he's being held. I didn't see any there, but if a replay showed, it wouldn't surprise me.
Last 10 minutes of the first half. England looking for a psychological lift before half-time.
We've just seen the replay, Mike. No hindrance to Terry at all.
But a setback here for Kazakhstan if you're just joining us. Ostapenko, who might have scored 2 in the opening 17 minutes, was injured following a challenge by Barry, and he's been replaced. But Kazakhstan now play the ball in the penalty area, and John Terry had to be there firmly with a header. In went Skorik, who seemed to be pushed on the edge of the penalty area by one of the England players, but it wasn't spotted by the Icelandic referee, and England have a throw-in over on the far side. England riding their luck a little at times here. Ball thrown back by Johnson to Robert Green. 2 substitute appearances, and now a first start, and he might have conceded a goal after 20 seconds. Back to England's Rugby Union International at Old Trafford, Nick Mullins.
First try of the match after half an hour to England. They lead by 16 points to 3. Matt Banahan with a try on his debut. England 16, Argentina 3.
Thank you. Here it's Kazakhstan 0, England 0 in this World Cup qualifying game. Only one more away match for England after this. That's in the Ukraine. England now getting much more of the ball, and it's Terry, the captain, finding Upson. It's the last 10 minutes of the first half, and mistake there by Upson. Gave it away, and then it's out of play, and that all round was very, very poor play.
Yeah. The only thing I would say, what has really disappointed me is when the individual player is in possession of the ball, there isn't much movement by the others, and sometimes a pass is made up not only of the player passing it, but the person who wants to receive it.
At the moment we have Rooney lurking on the left, and Gerrard's gone into a more central role, and England do look better like that. It's just that they get Gerrard on the ball more. Throw in to Kazakhstan down the near side of the field. 0-0 here. Throw in to Nusabayev, and now Kazlitsin, the right back. Back again to the man in the green boots, who throws himself down very easily, and he's won himself a throw-in, a free kick against Lampard. Well, that was a soft one, it really was. And Kazakhstan have already, well, they thought they'd scored from a cross into the England penalty area. Ostapenko denied for offside. He's not out there now, but they're sending the players forward. It's a free kick to be taken by Kukayev, who's come across from the left-hand side to take this in-swinging left-footed free kick. Lots of blue shirts have gone forward. In goes the free kick for Kazakhstan, and it's sideways, header away by Barry, out of the penalty area. Lampard's there to try and clear. He's knocked it off the Kazakhstan player, and luckily it comes back to Robert Green in the England goal.
He's fortunate there as well. It's very interesting. England brought everybody back. In that penalty area, there were 9 white shirts against only 4 blue ones. I just can't follow that.
Well, 0-0 wouldn't be enough, certainly, here for England. They would have undoubtedly missed the boat in this game. They're not looking for a 0-0. They're looking to go forward and win it. Gerrard with a good pass to Rooney. Oh, Rooney spins inside the defender and then sends the ball forward towards Ashley Cole. Defender comes across, and England look for the corner kick, and it's been given by the referee. That's, again, the Gerrard-Rooney link-up at the heart of England's best moments.
Rooney turned extremely well there. He was shaped as if he was going to play the ball one way and cut it back the other.
Lampard takes the corner kick very quickly and takes it short to Steven Gerrard. Gerrard's ball in, header back by Barry, it's gone in! Gareth Barry at the far post celebrates. Poor defending by Kazakhstan. It was good play initially down this near side with a short corner which Kazakhstan didn't read between Lampard and Gerrard. Barry, the new Manchester City man, came steaming in to make it Kazakhstan 0, England 1.
Well, he's right at the back of things. It's an acute angle. He's put it in for me rather too comfortably, and there we see the weakness of the Kazakhstan side. They're stood still, it's knocked in, it comes across him. It's a good header, you have to give him that, because it's back in. He's placed it back across the face of the goal, which is where you should. But for him to get free and get it like that is poor defending by Kazakhstan.
Well, it's only Barry's second goal for England, and this is his 30th appearance tonight. But that, at least, now should settle down a very frenetic and very anxious England team. But there's no question for me, in the opening 40 minutes here, for me it's all been about getting the best out of Rooney and Gerrard. And they look just so much better the way they're playing at the moment. Clearance by Green. Will Kazakhstan now respond? The ball is inside the Kazakhstan half, but Heskey's been penalised. And it's a free kick to Kazakhstan. Well, now, just as I've said that, would you believe Gerrard's back on the left and Rooney's gone back into the centre again?
Well, I think they're going to do that. I think that's part of what they've been asked to do, is to interchange during the course of the game. But when they do that, it looks then a very flat 4-4-2.
Yeah, just let me... You're Graham, you know, you're the expert. Do you agree with what I'm saying or not? That England do look better with... As Kazakhstan come forward, and once more Barry's back there helping out, and Barry looks a much more confident player now as he clears. Rooney was trying to flick that one on to Steven Gerrard, who had gone into the centre. England now looking for some clever play now from Frank Lampard. We'll bring Graham in again on this, because it is important. It goes to me right to the heart of Capello's tactics, the way he's playing. He's got these two jewels, really, Rooney and Gerrard, and he just simply has to get the best out of them. It's been a puzzle for other England managers too. Now Heskey. Heskey's ball! Oh, Walcott's just given offside. Heskey just got it inside the defender, but Walcott had strayed, and it's a free kick. So, Graham.
I think the thing about Gerrard, there's a slight difference when they go into those roles. Gerrard likes to come onto the ball. He doesn't like the ball from behind him. When Rooney comes out there, sometimes, you know, the ball is behind him and you can't always see it. And that's why Gerrard always looks more effective, because he's coming onto the ball in front of him.
Thank you for that. Kazakhstan 0, England 1, with 3 minutes to go in the first half. And if this is the half-time scoreline, I still think there'll be some fleas in ears from Fabio Capello at half-time, because he won't be happy, really, with the very careless way his team have played a lot of this first half. The ball with Kazakhstan. In the ball goes to the penalty area. The player went down looking for a foul there against Upson, but it wasn't given by the referee. Didn't look much of a foul challenge either. Kazakhstan now in midfield, play it forward. Johnson's waiting for the mistake, and now Johnson chips towards Rooney. Rooney inside the centre circle. Now I don't know whether that was his control or the pitch, but he lost possession, and England now play it back once more to Robert Green. There's no question, this is not great surface, but Croatia have to come here and all the other teams have to come here. England just have to deal with it. The ball with Barry, the goal scorer for England, leading 1-0. England again playing it back to Robert Green, and we've got 2.5 minutes left in the first half. And also, no doubt, they've been disrupted, Kazakhstan, by the loss of their main man up front, Ostapenko. They build near side the field. Ibraev, the player who came on, but has to play on the right-hand side. And Avachenko, who's been quite anonymous, has gone into the centre. Ball played forward down the Kazakhstan left. And it's that man once more, Kukiev, who's very dangerous, and the left-hand side. Ball played back into midfield with the captain Karbovic, and a block came in the penalty area there from John Terry, which was very important for England. And England clear it again, and the ball is back inside the Kazakhstan penalty area with young Mokin.
Well, I've said it a lot already in the first half. If I'm saying about getting the ball out to Walcott, then no doubt about it, Kazakhstan ought to get it out to Kukiev whenever they can. He has caused problems down that left-hand side.
Ian Brown tonight in Azerbaijan, watching Wales. I remember going there and seeing England struggle a bit, really, in appalling conditions, and in the end they relied on a goal from Michael Owen to see them through. And we're going to go to Ian Brown now in Azerbaijan. Ian.
Yeah, Wales not struggling here at the moment, because they've just taken the lead 4 minutes before half-time. Azerbaijan 0, Wales 1. A good build-up on the right, a ball in low from Earnshaw. Bit of confusion, and there in the end was Dave Edwards to wrap the ball into an empty net. So the man from Wolves has scored. It's Azerbaijan 0, Wales 1.
Thank you very much. We're playing the last minute of the first half here, but there will be time to be added on, certainly, for the stoppage when Ostapenko was injured. Could be a significant moment, that. And it was a challenge by Barry and a goal here by Barry. Barry will have to be replaced on Wednesday against Andorra. Other England players threatened with missing that match are Heskey, Johnson and Beckham. Beckham's on the bench, and it's a Kazakhstan throw-in as the fourth official prepares to show how much added time there will be. Barry almost took his eye off the ball there, but he managed to recover second time around, and England now pretty much now winding down the clock, I think, for half-time. They lead 1-0. Goal from Gareth Barry has sort of steadied them down here, following a short corner between Lampard and Gerrard. Ashley Cole again, back to Matthew Upson. Quite a bit for Fabio Capello to sort out nevertheless at half-time, particularly with the defenders, I think. And now Barry once more. We're going to play 2 minutes of added time. Rooney, just inside the Kazakhstan half, looks for Ashley Cole, doesn't find him, tries to win it back again, and Kazakhstan going forward. Oh, and then two players bump into each other. That was fortunate for England. Upson's won the ball, and it's Gerrard now, lifting it all over the goalkeeper. In goes Heskey, and Heskey scores 2-0. Great vision from Steven Gerrard. He certainly saw the goalkeeper off his line, and he went for it. The goalkeeper was always under pressure, got one hand to it, could only palm it out to Heskey, and Heskey rolls it in, and England now lead 2-0 on half-time.
It was a great shot from Gerrard, there's no doubt about it. As you quite rightly said, from some distance out, he saw that Mockin was way off his line. As it happened then, Mockin backpedalled as much as he could and made a good save, but could only really knock it up into the air. And there's Heskey coming in, side foot tapped volley off his left foot, 2-0 to England.
And Gerrard involved in both of the goals, Graham.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Can I just say one thing there about Mockin on his defence? The ball gets a wicked deflection when Gerrard shot, and it went high. If you watch it, it goes really high and goes over Mockin. Otherwise, Mockin may have been able to take that. If we see the replay again, you'll see it, Mike, how it really takes a very wicked deflection and goes much higher.
What a vital time to score a second goal. Just when I said that England might be looking to run the clock down for half-time, they lead by 2-0. I've got to say, on paper, doesn't really represent what we've watched in the first half, but England, particularly since Ostapenko went off with the injury, have started to settle down here, and Gerrard's been involved in both of the goals. It was terrific skill for him to go for it there, and the keeper couldn't deal with it eventually. As Graham was saying, there was a deflection, and Heskey was on the spot to put it into the net. So we've had goals from Gareth Barry and Emil Heskey, not regular goal scorers for England, and England lead by 2-0. And Kazakhstan now, well, how much will that deflate them and their supporters in the second half? They could have scored inside the first 30 seconds because of a mistake by the man on the ball now, Glenn Johnson. We're playing added time here in Almaty. And that's, I think, the end. Yeah, the whistle's gone. That is half-time here in Almaty. If you're just joining us, it sounds really rosy, doesn't it? 2-0 to England. But, Graham, well, it's quite different, really.
I mean, result-wise, it is rosy. The performance in the first 45 minutes, it doesn't justify a 2-0 lead. But go back to Capello, what he said before the game, we've come here to win. That's what he said. Nothing about performance. He said nothing about being careless or a lack of concentration. He said, we're here to win. And at the present time, that's just what England are doing.
Thank you very much. Well, those opening few minutes was nothing to do with jet lag at all. It was just poor play all round. But England have now taken control of this game, and at half-time they lead by 2-0.
Go back to Almaty then. Alan Green, what we'll all say, I suppose, is not playing well, but winning 2-0. It's not a bad habit to get into if you can. You'd rather play well, but if you can't, you still want to win.
True. But England were shocking. Absolutely shocking, Mark. And who knows what would have happened in that first half if Ostapenko had scored in the first few seconds as he should have done. And probably more important, Graham, if he hadn't gone off injured, because I thought Kazakhstan looked far weaker without him.
They certainly do. And Kukiev, who was causing great problems down that left-hand side, has been moved up front, where he's not been half so effective because he's actually looking for the ball. He's not always being served it as well. But I mean, a 2-0 lead by England doesn't reflect that first 45 minutes at all. But as we repeat so many times, and Capello has said it, it's all about winning.
Well, England are going to make a change at the start of the second half. Sean Wright-Phillips will come on for Theo Walcott. Injured? Not playing well? What?
Making sure Arsene Wenger is happy enough, keeps him for the under-21s.
Don't know.
So he goes
I'm not sure Capello's that sentimental.
No,
but anyway, Wright-Phillips is coming on for Walcott. This is the revised England lineup. Goalkeeper Green, defenders Johnson, who was dreadful in the first 15 minutes. Johnson, Upson, Terry and Cole. Then it's Wright-Phillips, Lampard, Barry and Gerrard, and finally Rooney and Heskey. Kazakhstan, of course, supposed to make a change in the first half. Ostapenko off, Ibrahiev on. Their goalkeeper is Mockin. Their defenders Kizlitsin, Abdulin, Logvidenko and Kirov. Midfield now of Ibrahim, Karpovic, Skoryek and Averchenko, and then finally Kukiev and Nusabayev. Kukiev, unfortunately for Azerbaijan, after the injury to Ostapenko, he had to go almost into a central position, but it's probably better that Stork, the coach for Kazakhstan, has brought him wide again down the left side.
Yeah,
that's where he did damage.
Definitely. Start of the second half, he's brought him out wide on that left-hand side.
Yeah, the man in the tannoy totally oblivious to the fact that the second half is already 26 seconds underway. There's a band. Is there a band playing somewhere? Get off the pitch. Oh, well, they're off the pitch, obviously. But stop playing, folks. There's a World Cup qualifier being played out here in the Central Stadium in Almaty. Kazakhstan 0, England 2, and that is an incredibly flattering scoreline to England. Here's Skoryek giving the ball away. Gerrard has popped up down the right side. Now he's in a central position, Steven Gerrard. Haven't quite worked out this formation at the moment. Rooney's certainly down the left, and it's with Upson. Gerrard is tucked in behind Heskey. Rooney's down the left, Wright Phillips down the right as England played the ball forward. Yeah. And it looks as if Barry and Lampard are just going to sit. Is that right?
Yeah, that's how they are at the moment. I think, though, that they started off with Gerrard on the left and just immediately changed. Now, whether they'll stay like this, we'll just have to wait and see.
Here's Gerrard, a little bit of room down the right side, and he crosses deep looking for Rooney. Played brilliantly towards Rooney, taken on his chest by the United striker, and then as he tried to move inside of the defenders, lost possession, and Kazakhstan clear it upfield. We're in the 47th minute of the game here. It's 10:05 in the evening in Kazakhstan. England surely with the points in the bag, but such an unconvincing first half display. Time to improve, of course. Gerrard to Wright Phillips. Wright Phillips must have taken his eye off the ball. It squirted under his right boot and is out for a throw.
Just shot a little bit there, didn't it? But all of those things that were happening in that first half, let's hope that we don't see the same again at the start of this one.
Good header down by Upson, and then Johnson beats Kukiev just for a change. And the ball's out to play for a throw-in to Kazakhstan. Thrown towards Nusabayev. Nusabayev tackled by John Terry, and it's out for a throw-in deep inside the England half. Kukiev to take the throw. In fact, it's almost level now with the edge of the England penalty. There's no Kazakhstan player inside the England box. The throw goes to Nusabayev. Wide to Kukiev again. They've got to get a presence inside the England penalty. Kukiev trying to get past Wright Phillips, didn't manage it. Well done, Wright Phillips, and it's cleared by Johnson up to the halfway line, where Heskey and the defender Logvenko collided. The ball's out of play, and it's a throw into Kazakhstan. Bit of a scrappy start to the second half, but at 2-0, surely, Graham, the points are already won. By the way, it's Belarus 1, Andorra 0. Heskey goes forward, fouled by Logvenko, and that surely is a challenge worthy of a yellow card.
Well, you wouldn't see a big man like Heskey go down as in that manner at all. He certainly is being brought down there a little bit, isn't he?
He said he partly threw himself between two defenders. Slightly exaggerated the fall by Emil Heskey. By the way, Gareth Barry was booked in the first half. He's suspended now for the Andorra game, so he'll obviously have a sleepless night missing that cap. Rather miss that one than the game against Croatia in September. Lampard with a free kick for England. It was unquestionably a foul on Emil Heskey. England lead 2-0, fourth into the second half. It's to the right of the Kazakhstan penalty, and it's played really poorly by Frank Lampard. Wright Phillips plays it forward again, but only finds a blue shirt. Kazakhstan all in blue with yellow trim, England all in white. Ibrahim was challenged correctly there, though he wanted a free kick. Ball goes to Gerrard. Rooney, the return pass to Gerrard wasn't good. Rooney hasn't played that well. Gerrard makes a challenge, and the ball breaks off the defender Logvenko, out for a throw into England.
Yeah, there does seem some frustration with the England players. Yes, they're 2-0 up. It is a difficult pitch to get your passing movements, to get the pace of it right as well, and I think it's annoying and frustrating some of these players. But that is what it is. That's life. You have to get on with it and make sure that you handle that situation.
Johnson throw in to Sean Wright Phillips, miscontrolled by the Manchester City player. We welcome listeners to the World Service on the BBC. England lead 2-0. Terry with a shot from 30 yards. Ball breaks back off a defender. Gerrard does well. Gerrard just dinks it in deep, looking for Rooney. Rooney heads it down, half cleared by Kizlitsin. Rooney's there again though. 30 yards from goal. Rooney turns, shoots, it bobbles along the ground and through to the goalkeeper Bucking.
Yeah. I mean, England have started a little bit, haven't they, coming in towards Kazakhstan, much better than they did in the first half, where they hardly ever got in their half for the opening 10-15 minutes.
I mean, it wasn't merely that chance for Ostapenko in the opening seconds. England were awful for about 15-20 minutes.
Well, as I said at the time, they were all over the place, and you couldn't see, how they were going to get themselves back into it because of what they then were trying to do. There's a lot of long diagonal passing. Whether that had been something that they'd spoken about, no, I don't know, but there certainly was a lot of it. And I can't hardly remember one that found its target.
Lovely touch by Sean Wright-Phillips, and then Skoric tried to bring him down. Sean Wright-Phillips did well, found Heskey, and there's a free kick for the latest challenge in Sean Wright-Phillips, who is causing a few problems, to say the least.
Prepared to have a go at them, isn't he? And if forwards start to run at you, and they've got the ability to get past you, it's a great feeling for that particular forward. And you see that with Wright-Phillips. He looks very hungry and very keen to do just that. Now
Lampard's got a quick opportunity to atone for his earlier poor free kick. That's better, in towards Barry, who might have, if he got his head to the ball, might have headed his second goal of the evening, but he didn't get any contact. Clearance to the halfway line. Ashley Cole hits it high towards the right flank and headed powerfully away. Rooney lifted his foot there towards the defender, but England have possession. It's with Ben Johnson and back to goalkeeper Robert Green. I can take your point about maybe the logic behind the substitution of Walcott, sort of gesture towards a certain manager in North London, but I sort of feel there was an opportunity to play both Wright-Phillips and Walcott. They could both figure against Andorra on Wednesday night. Anyway, cross from the right towards the England penalty area. Good headed away by Upson, and well played too by Gareth Barry. Then Barry is tackled and the ball breaks out. It's a throw into England.
Yeah, I've read it. I don't know whether I'm correct or not. I've read it that we're likely now to see Walcott play some part of the game against Andorra and then go with the under-21s. And I think that may just be in his thinking, particularly being 2-0 up.
Referee decided that was a foul tackle on Barry, so it's a free kick to England. You're listening to 5 Live and the World Service on the BBC. Kazakhstan 0, England 2. On the far side of the field, the ball was played to Gerrard, who's obviously got quite a roving role now. He was down the right side a minute or so ago. Now he's down the left. Now he's moving in towards the centre. And the more involvement that Capello can draw from the Liverpool captain, I think the better for England.
I would agree with that, yes.
Terry.
He is showing much more mobility to go over the front part of the field.
Here's Terry again, and now to Barry, and on to Rooney. Rooney down the right side, just flicks the ball back to Glenn Johnson. Barry overhits the pass beyond Rooney, and it's cleared by Kirov, the left back for Kazakhstan. He hits it over the halfway line, but they really don't have the striking presence that Ostapenko gave them in the opening 25 minutes of the game, and they look as if they'll really struggle to score.
I think also, Alan, the likelihood the second half they can get tired. That certainly happened at Wembley, if you remember.
Not a great ball by Lampard, but he's trying to win it back, and he wins it back fairly. Finds Rooney, and here's Gerrard. Gerrard again tries to clip the goalkeeper. Did he get a deflection that time? Well, Lampard appeals, but it's not. It was actually Rooney, not Gerrard. Sorry, and the ball's behind for a goal kick.
I think there was a little clip there, but the referee says no, so you've got to get on with it.
Well, I'm just trying to see who did get that shot in. It was Gerrard.
Yeah, I know it's Gerrard, yeah.
How can I get Gerrard and Rooney mixed up? Eh? Do they play for the same club or something? Come from the same city?
No, they interchange positions, you see.
Speak with the same accent? Skoric overhits the pass down the left-hand side, and Kazakhstan, well, as they did at Wembley, not quite what they were in the first half. Let's get an update in the rugby at bizarrely Old Trafford. Nick Mullins.
Yeah, it's about half full, Alan. Not an awful lot going on at the start of this second half, save 3 penalties. 1 to Andy Goode, 2 to Juan Martin Hernandez for Argentina. England therefore lead now by 22 points to 15.
Thank you very much indeed. And the ball is out for an England throw-in in this near side of the field. The atmosphere has declined.
Yeah, it's taken a lot out of it, isn't it? It's always a dangerous thing to say, but there's only going to be one result to this game. We thought that before it started, but at least, with the way it happened, there is a belief there might be a surprise result. That no longer is there.
No, Terry. clips it forward. Nice touch by Sean Wright-Phillips to Gerrard, who again pops up round the right, drills it in the direction of Rooney. Rooney decided he wasn't going to get there, so hope for a mistake by the defender. Wasn't there, and Kieslitz chests the ball back to his goalkeeper Muffin, who's a huge figure, 6'4". On the played against England, that was his only other qualifying appearance in this group. England have possession quickly again. Johnson turns, plays it back to Robert Green, and Green clears it first time. Allowed to run by Barry, chested back by Rooney, and on by Lampard to Gerrard. Better play from the England midfield. Sean Wright-Phillips to Rooney, pass wasn't great, cleared by Kazakhstan. Only to Johnson. 11 minutes played in the second half. England leading 2-0. Johnson to Wright-Phillips, and Wright-Phillips tackled by Logvinenko. Logvinenko thinks that ultimately the ball gave off Wright-Phillips and went behind, but the linesman disagrees, and it's a corner.
He's been very much involved in a lot of the action, Wright-Phillips has, and it's always opportunities for him. He's not been able to pin a regular place down for England.
Gerrard with a corner from the right. Played in. Oh, it was a good corner too. Barry went to meet it, so did Upson, but it eluded both of them, and it's with Kazakhstan on the far side of the field, or at least it was. Lampard makes a good tackle, and it's out of play for a throw-in to the home team. Kazakhstan 0, England 2. We're in Almaty, which, barring the World Cup in Japan and Korea, and barring Beijing in the Olympics last season, is as far east as I've come. Here's the captain, Karpovic, ahead of the centre circle. Skorjakis shoots from long range, and Robert Green may as well have closed his eyes, because it was always clear that shot was going wide.
As the old saying is, miles wide. Never was going to trouble the keeper a lot.
Yeah, but at least it was an effort at goal, even though it was a poor effort at goal. Capello having words with Wright-Phillips. I think Wright-Phillips has done very well in the first 12 minutes
certainly,
since he came on.
Yep.
First 12 minutes in the second half, that is. Heskey heads the ball away from Abdulin. Abdulin has gone down as if he accidentally got a knock on the head there from... Oh, well, Abdulin's claiming an elbow from Heskey. I didn't see that. But we're getting another... Actually, it was an elbow.
It was an elbow, yeah.
It was an elbow.
Yeah, well, it's come right across him.
Very careless by Emil Heskey. Very poor. Anyway, it'll be a bump ball, and presumably Kazakhstan... Well, it'll be easy to have a bump ball on this pitch. But Kazakhstan will be invited to give the ball back to England. And at least they hit it into the England half, and here's Robert Green. Well, we've had the one change for England, Wright-Phillips for Walcott. That's like for like. You know, maybe Peter Crouch for Heskey at some stage. Mix and match.
He may do, and I think Peter Crouch has stayed in his squad, there's no doubt about it, but I'm not so certain that Capello sees Peter as a starting player, right. So he might bring him on and give him... I'm not too certain how he really rates Peter Crouch.
Well, we've had 13 minutes of the second half. From that roar, I wondered if the dreaded Mexican wave was about to encompass the central stadium. Kazakhstan on the attack, but it breaks down as the ball is run behind for a goal kick to England. And clearly, Graham, it is the Mexican wave, heaven help us. The two goals in the last 5 minutes of the first half have just given England control now.
They have, yeah. England come out, it's not that they're setting anything alight, but they're having much more possession of the ball. It's controlled. They're not rushing at the game so much, they're not trying to get in early into Kazakhstan. They're dictating the game now.
I assume that in the main stand they didn't follow on with the Mexican wave, and that's why we had boos. But basically they should build prisons big enough to put everybody who does a Mexican wave in it directly. Do not pass go.
There are times, Greeny, you say such stupid things.
It's not a stupid thing at all. Who in their right mind likes a Mexican wave?
Yeah. You're talking about supporters, though. What about these supporters on this trip that have come all this way?
It's the home supporters who are
all right
in
then.
this,
yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, 1,200 England fans have made the trip.
Yeah.
And they're happy enough with the scoreline. They've got the England display. Kazakhstan 0, England 2. Free kick to Kazakhstan. And it will be hit by Logvinenko and just chipped in the direction of Nazarbayev. He did really well, though, because there were two England defenders with him. One possession for Kazakhstan. Kukiev trying to help him out, but it's lost to England. and it's knocked away by Glenn Johnson towards Emil Heskey on the halfway line. Heskey back now to Lampard. Wright Phillips and Lampard exchange passes. It's with Glenn Johnson again. And according to a message from the Football Association that we've got, Theo Walcott was not injured. Yet he was substituted at half-time, Wright Phillips coming on. And I don't know, I think Wright Phillips has actually looked brighter than Walcott.
He's done well. I mean, I think that just strengthens what my thoughts are about the substitution. He's been injured a lot, he hasn't played a lot. I think we're likely to see him against Andorra, but I think we're also likely to see Walcott in the under-21 championship in Sweden.
The kick-off, by the way, for the Andorra game on Wednesday night is 8:15. And please don't even get me remotely started on why we're kicking off at 8:15. Offside against Wayne Rooney and a free kick to Kazakhstan. The game has died a death. And it's only a question of whether or not England might score another goal or two.
Well, it is. I mean, with Ostapenko coming off, they've lost all threat, haven't they? Strength.
Well, he had a physical presence, didn't he, Graham, you know?
Yeah.
In fact, Wright Phillips has already got his suit on, his FA suit on. He doesn't look too perturbed. Clearly, he is being doctored through the month of June. Other requirements as well as these two World Cup qualifiers for England. John Terry, the England skipper, to Glenn Johnson. And Johnson hits it in the direction of Heskey, who backfields the ball. Wright Phillips had scampered forward, but not that quickly. And it's cleared into the England half. Chested down by Terry. Taken up by Barry, scorer of the first goal. A header from Gerrard's cross. Heskey got the second. Here's Ashley Cole. Cole can't find Steven Gerrard. It's intercepted by Kizlitsin. And now it's knocked over the halfway line, but that's asking an awful lot of Overchenko down the right flank. Upson had gone across and the ball's out of play for a throw into England. We've played nearly 17 minutes in the second half. And a throw into England, level with the edge of the penalty area. Their own penalty area, that is. Ashley Cole delays. No urgency. England leading 2-0. Thrown towards Rooney. Headed back by Kazakhstan. And here's Kukuyev, who scored the goal at Wembley that made it 1-1. And a tackle on him has led to a free kick. 2-0 probably doesn't matter all that much. But, in games that truly matter, Graham, you don't concede soft free kicks at an area like this, less than 30 yards from goal.
No. I mean, you said earlier the game has died away somewhat. It's not lifted up at all. I mean, the first half was simply because of how well... Sorry, I'm just...
That's all right. I'm watching Karpovic, the acting captain. Valtiev unwell. That's why he's not playing tonight. But it looks as if Karpovic is going to strike this free kick. And there it goes over the crossbar. Wasn't really threatening the goal. Robert Green just watched it go high and wide.
A great build-up to it, but nothing at the end of it at all. There.
No.
Not a good freak at all.
What do you think Bernd Storck can do in terms of getting a team to play in the second half as well?
I don't think...
Because that's twice we've seen them.
Yes,
and they played really well in the first 45 minutes at Wembley, and here again tonight.
I think the thing is, they started off, as we saw today, with great hope, a lot of belief, but when that first goal goes in, it just disappears. It comes away from them, and that's exactly what's happened tonight.
Right, there's been a try at Old Trafford, Nick Mullins.
Significant one, Alan. It's gone to England after an hour, scored by Dylan Armitage. It ought to be the score that wraps the match up for them. Big United fan Mark Cueto kicking the ball into the danger area at the Stretford end. Armitage flopping onto it, converted by Andy Goode, who's now got 22 points of his own. England have 32, Argentina 15.
Gerrard lost possession there. It's taken up by Nazarbayev. Gerrard trying to win the ball back and didn't want to foul the player, but he was being helped out anyway by a combination of Barry and Johnson, and one of them got a touch on it, and England have the ball again. Ashley Cole into Upson, and now it's with the England captain John Terry. We've played 19 minutes of the second half. Kazakhstan 0, England 2. Goals from Barry and Heskey for England just before half-time. There's a foul on Emil Heskey, and it's a free kick to England. And Lampard rushed forward, hoping for a tap free kick from Heskey. I don't think Heskey was allowed to, or perhaps he thought it was better to choose the other option and let someone else take the free kick, like the said Lampard, from the right side. So John Terry's gone forward, so too is Matthew Upson. Both excellent in the air. Gareth Barry is there too in the D of the Kazakhstan penalty area. Considerable aerial threat from England. Lampard's free kick poor. Oh, and then the goalkeeper makes a complete hash of it. Mockin lets the ball run through his hands, and it's behind for a corner.
You would have little faith in Mockin, wouldn't you? You know, he's coming out there. It's a clean catch. There's no excuse at all for him. You just handle that. But he doesn't, puts it away for a corner.
Well, he's not regularly the first choice, Soraya is, but he's had a big fallout. So basically he's been booted out of the squad. England corner from the left. Played in right-footed, far too deep, beyond Upson. Upson chases back and gives up the chase. It's gone behind for a goal kick.
Disappointing again, isn't it? You know, it's all about getting your delivery right as well. But complete waste.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, Alan, the game, as you said earlier, has died a death, really. There's next to nothing happening on the pitch now.
It's been a massive trip for the 1,200 England fans. You know, it's a very expensive country, surprisingly expensive country, and so it'll have cost a few quid to come out for this one. Here's Cole to Barry. Barry now to Gerrard. Gerrard back to Ashley Cole on the halfway line, and taken up by Frank Lampard, and Lampard swirls the ball to his near side, and now it's with Glenn Johnson, caught in possession. Johnson, poor Johnson, again from Johnson. Kukiev runs forward, can he find a colleague? No, he doesn't. Johnson has the ball again, but I tell you what, tonight Glenn Johnson has not cemented that right back spot.
Well, I've never seen a right back try to beat opposition before he passes the ball as much as Glenn Johnson has done tonight. I mean, he'd no need to take that opposition on there. He could have just passed it and kept the movement flowing.
Sean Wright-Phillips with the pass back to Robert Green. Robert Green was very careful with the way he controlled the ball, and he hit the clearance off over the halfway line. Heskey didn't head the ball, but the defender did, and it went to Frank Lampard, and now it's with Gareth Barry. I'm trying to see where Rooney's down the right side, and so too is Wright-Phillips. I'm still not sure about, you know, England players taking up correct positions. You know, I want movement, Graham, but, you know, cover as well. Wright-Phillips down the right side, tried to cross the ball. Did it hit a defender? Go behind for a corner? It does now, off a header. Oh no, it's only out for throw-in.
I don't mind seeing the movement of players, because I think you have to have that flexibility, and certainly at international level, as long as the flexibility, the movement of the players is understood by everybody as to why it's happening and how you take advantage of it.
England throw-in taken, immediately head out of play, and it's going to be another England throw-in. We reached the midway point of the second half. It's been a humdinger of a second half, hasn't it, Mike?
Well, it continues to be, Alan, a very patchy, workmanlike performance by England, but Capello's really not, I suppose, not too bothered about the quality of it now. He just wants those 3 points in the bag. It'll be played 6-1-6, and they'll be much, much closer to the World Cup of next summer. England, by the way, are flying back straight after the game. The time here is 10:25 in the evening. England are flying back, and they'll get back at 4 in the morning UK time, which in reality will be 9 in the morning Kazakhstan time, and then presumably they'll all have a kit and then prepare for the game with Andorra on Wednesday. So we've Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan on the programme for you this evening. Back to Ian Brown watching Azerbaijan and Wales.
Yeah, I'm in Baku, and Wales are still leading Azerbaijan by 1-0 midway through the second half. It was Dave Edwards with the goal in the first period. Azerbaijan a bit more like it in the second period. Bertie Vogts has made all 3 substitutions. One of the fresh faces, Subashik, has fired into the side netting, but Wales lead 1-0.
Thank you very much. You're listening to 5 Live and BBC World Service. That was a complete miss kick by Sean Wright-Phillips. England letting Kazakhstan back in again. It's 2-0 to England here. The goals just before half-time from Barry and Heskey, who a week ago were club colleagues. Now they're only international colleagues. And now Kazakhstan getting some rare moments on the ball as they play from right to left in this game. And the crowd just hoping for something here. They're coming forward, and the shot is driven in, and Green doesn't have to make a save. It was a movement from midfield, and in fact the fullback ran a long way, Kislitson, to hit that one. He's just getting a pat on the back from his captain. It's a goal kick to England. Graham Taylor.
Nice little bit of movements there. Little 1-2 played, got a shot in that was well wide. But at least, you know, there was a little bit of play there. But you're absolutely right, because Capello made this very clear before this game. This was about result, and that's all that is concerned. It's 2-0 there. And, you know, when you're only playing 10, whatever it is, competitive games, it is all about winning.
And he's taking it because he's sitting down now. There's not a lot of animation from him now in the second half. The one moment where he really does seem to get steamed up is when England have corners, and he's clearly not happy with the positioning of players. Let's get a result now from the Oval. Big cricket match in the 2020. Alison Mitchell.
The Aussies have lost. Australia have lost to the West Indies by 7 wickets with 25 balls to spare. Comfortable, really, in Chris Gale, an outstanding innings, 88 off 50 balls. He's really come to life in this form of the game. Andre Fletcher, 53 off 32 balls. They eventually both fell, Gale to Lee and Fletcher to Johnson, but tremendous knock. Gale has done it for the West Indies, and they've beaten Australia by 7 wickets. They're going to find it difficult to qualify now.
Thank you very much. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a double shocker for England, though, having lost to Holland. The football team here are beating Kazakhstan by 2-0. And we must also make the point that it wouldn't have been an excuse for England, but the pitch is awful. Certainly not one that the players would normally be used to playing on. And now Rooney finds Wright Phillips with a great ball. But Wright Phillips shows really wretched control, gives it straight back again to Kazakhstan. That brings Capello back on his feet again. And we've played exactly 70 minutes of the game, 20 minutes to go here, deep into the night now here in Almaty. Long, hopeful ball forward from Kazakhstan. John Terry's there looking for goalkeeper Robert Green. You've already alluded to the fact, you and Alan, about the fans making great, sacrifices to come out here. You bumped into some, didn't you, out here, Graham, who really had pushed the boat out.
And we promised them a mention that Simon Salter, Keith Joslin and Barry Barker, they've come out here, driven out here, got themselves... They've come in a London black cab. There are 27 cars. They're going to an orphanage in Bishkek and literally selling up all the cars, selling up everything and buying as much as they can for this orphanage. And they've done 5,300 miles to get here.
Absolutely fantastic. And, they'll be enjoying their evening here now that England are in control of the game as Rooney just tries a shot, but this time can't find the elevation to beat Mockin. England have the game under control. 18 points from 6 games, it seems, and 3 of the last 4 matches will be at Wembley. The one away trip into the Ukraine, and now Steven Gerrard much happier in the central role. England now to Johnson, who's had an unhappy night generally down the right hand side. Capello does like defenders who can defend, and Johnson hasn't defended particularly well this evening. He's now going forward, much happier with the ball, going forward, doing well here into the penalty area. Heskey's almost there, and so too was Rooney. Second chance for Rooney, scores. Rooney, second time around, acrobatically scores. And though Glenn Johnson's had a poor night defensively, he did very well in an attacking style there for England. And Rooney scores another England goal, and they lead 3-0.
Well, that just shows you, I mean, we know that Glenn Johnson does come forward. He really committed himself to getting in there. Went all the way, right on the byline, as close as you can. Put the cross in. Then Rooney gets in. It's a very good save by Mockin, but he could only knock it out, and Rooney clips it, he turns round, it's almost an overhead kick that he just puts it straight back into the net. And it's a good finish, you have to say that's an excellent finish. But your little bits of good fortune, have certainly gone England's way in this game. It's 3-0 now to England, game over.
But the Kazakhstan crowd, I think, are going to see Mr. Beckham, because I've just seen Capello talking to him. Beckham's going to win another cap here. Rooney's now nudging his way up the goal-scoring chart. He's now got ahead of Kevin Keegan and Mick Shannon. He's now on 22 goals, one behind the great Stan Mortensen and Tommy Lawton. So Rooney's got another international goal, 8 in the season as well for him. England lead by 3-0. Glenn Johnson did very well there going forward. But there have been reservations about him inside his own half, though, defending, particularly inside the first 30 seconds when Kazakhstan should have scored. Kazakhstan trailing now by 3-0. And looking quite a tired side now. And England with Rooney, the goal scorer. Rooney with a long one to this a rather aimless ball, which is going to run out of play. So England will now make 2 more changes, I'm sure, to try and conserve energy and legs. And I did see Capello a moment or two ago talking to David Beckham. And here he comes, I think, Graham.
Yeah.
Beckham's coming on for cap number 111 in just a few moments, the next time the ball is out of play. Glenn Johnson having provided that danger, and Rooney did well. He had 2 pops at it, and then he scored with the second attempt. Kazakhstan 0, England 3. The first half goals from Barry and Heskey towards the end of the first half, and now the third from Wayne Rooney. And he wanted this game really to get Rome out of his system, he was telling us in midweek. And England now trying to stretch Kazakhstan, find Ashley Cole over on the left. He hasn't really had to do any defending at all in the second half. Ashley Cole, another poor pass though from England, but they win it back again, and then Barry's tripped. And don't forget, 6:06 follows at 6 o'clock with Steve Claridge and Gabriel Marcotti. Lines open, 0500 909 693. And, well, what about this for a change? Glenn Johnson's coming off to be replaced by David Beckham.
And is Wright Williams? Wright Williams, yeah. Wright Phillips going to come back into position?
Well, Gary Neville, by the way, not on the bench tonight, has an injury. Wasn't able to be considered as a substitute. It's going to be an England free kick in a moment. So 6:06 soon, though it's 10:35 in the evening here in Almaty, 5 hours ahead of you. So Beckham gets a good reception from the crowd. England have a free kick. Beckham normally takes them. He's not going to take this one, though. Upson's been allowed to go forward. Gerrard and Heskey in the penalty area. Free kick is just knocked across the field to Wright Phillips, who's now playing at right back. Ball into the England area, headed back towards Steven Gerrard. Gerrard takes it on the head, then tried to volley, and he's not quite won the corner kick. It's a throw-in over on the far side.
Did very well there, Steven Gerrard. It was knocked back to him, and he deliberately headed it past the opposition before knocked it up in there and got the volley in and gets a corner. But it was a very good piece of technique by Gerrard.
I'm just going to... It doesn't really matter now because England need 3-0, but try and get you to make some kind of sense and interpretation of this move with Wright Phillips at right back and Beckham playing in front of him. Beckham gets his first touch, plays it square. It's a good ball into midfield as well. Barry now are they going to... I mean, really, are they getting the best out of Wright Phillips? Long ball forward, but they lead 3-0. Gerrard now going to try and pull this one back. In comes a floated cross. Heskey's appealing for a penalty. Nothing given by the referee. Still inside the penalty area. Headed down, and the shot is driven in by Colton. Heskey's gone down again looking for a penalty. This time he might have got it.
Looks like to me he pulled in, yeah.
He has got the penalty. Second appeal from Heskey. A yellow card to the defender as well. And the defender was Abdulin. So it's an England penalty, a chance to extend the lead here to 4-0. Frank Lampard will take it. He's normally fairly cool in these situations, mocking the goalkeeper to beat. England, who made a really uncomfortable start here in Almaty, can now clinch a healthy victory. Lampard scores with ease. 2 arms raised, a salute to the crowd. Kazakhstan 0, England 4. England played 6-1-6.
And I think if England just keep playing as they are doing, then more chances will come. Kazakhstan are very tired and they make mistakes left, right and centre. One again there. So, England can add to their total without having to increase the quality of their play.
I'm just thinking of Capello, who's raised on right backs like Giuseppe Bergami, and ruthless defenders now. And he's looking to Sean Wright Phillips to play at right back. What is he trying out there at the moment, Graham?
He's going to let him come forward as much as he can. We saw that with Glenn Johnson previously. And although he says that England is so much in charge now that both full-backs, whenever it's on, can bomb forward. And there's nobody really wide on them. The Kazakhstan players look very tired.
Looking to the future, I think right back's a problem for him to solve, though, for next season. He'll hope that Wes Brown can get back. He'll hope that Gary Neville can perhaps get full fitness too. I'm not convinced that he's totally convinced by Johnson. I'm sure Johnson will be in the World Cup squad, but that still is a position which I'm sure he'll want to nail down with the goalkeeping as well. But England lead here by 4-0, and Kazakhstan are a beaten side. As soon as those goals went in before half-time. But what a different story it might have been. If you're just joining us on World Service and 5 Live, by the way, there are fans leaving the stadium now. Kazakhstan might have scored inside the first 30 seconds after a mistake by Johnson. And then they thought they had scored. Ostapenko with a header ruled offside. And then another big moment in the game when Ostapenko was injured and they lost a focal point really in the team. So Rooney's got one of the goals. He stabs the ball back to John Terry, and now it's Barry. Barry, who started the scoring with a header from a short corner. Heskey down the left. Heskey also scoring this evening. The goal scorers have been Barry, Heskey, Rooney and a Lampard penalty. Bit of competition between Beckham and Lampard and Gerrard in particular. I think they're all very close to each other in terms of goals scored now. England bill with their new right back, Sean Wright Phillips. Beckham's available. Kazakhstan 0, England 4 with just over 10 minutes to go. And I agree with Graham that there are more goals here for England if they want to venture forward. Upson on the edge of the penalty area, feeding Barry. England stroking it around and now looking completely in control. Ball bobbling around on the surface. It's Rooney back inside his own half. Kazakhstan retreat. Rooney skims it into Gerrard, who gets away from a half-hearted defender. Gerrard back again to Rooney. These two now running the show. Gerrard with a bit of pace and acceleration, tries a drive in towards the England fans. Goes a long way behind the Kazakhstan goal.
Yeah, a little bit of movement there by England, but no challenge in the middle of the pitch at all. And I've said it a number of times now, but the Kazakhstan players look all out. And as we said, there are more goals in it for England without them having to actually raise the tempo of their game.
Final change by England. Defoe for Heskey. Lampard now, by the way, 16 England goals. Gerrard 14, Beckham 17. So Defoe comes on to try and notch something in the last 10 minutes. What did you make of Heskey tonight, Graham?
But he's been there, hasn't he? I just happen to believe that somehow, you know, although Rooney wasn't round him too much, but if you play Rooney central and get him close to Heskey, I think Heskey does well. I mean, I don't think he's been anything exceptional today or anything like. He's just done his job. But I think somehow that's what Capello was wanting them to do. Just go out and do your job. And certainly, I think Heskey in the main has done that.
Kazakhstan, by the way, I'm not sure if they've even told you this. Erbiz came on for Avichenko a few minutes ago, but I haven't mentioned him yet in the commentary. And England now do concede a free kick. Well, must get you to pitch forward to Wednesday night in a moment. Gareth Barry, we know, will be suspended. I wonder whether perhaps Capello might revert back to just an orthodox 4-4-2. Get Lampard and Gerrard into the centre. Play a couple of wingers, perhaps a chance for Walcott and Wright Phillips from the start. Maybe even Ashley Young. And Rooney and Heskey down the centre. It's a free kick, though, to Kazakhstan. Looking for consolation here. Trailing by 4-0. Lining up a strike here. It's going to be Ibrahim, I think, who's over the ball. In comes the shot, driven into the England area, and it travels wide. Disappointingly for Kazakhstan. What about Wednesday?
Well, I mean, first of all, can I say having Andorra after a trip of almost 8,000 miles is a very good fixture arranging. And I just think playing against Andorra, you can, as you said, go 4-2-4 and get width to your team, and move it about sharp and quick, and the goals will be there for you.
So that's on Wednesday at Wembley. 8:15 kickoff, 5 Live. England leading here by 4-0. Job done, I suppose, professionally in the end, but all sorts of problems early on here. Ashley Cole now for England inside the Kazakhstan half. England all in white, playing from left to right. Rooney's ball now to Wright Phillips. Wright Phillips who's now gone ahead of David Beckham. Beckham's in the right back position. Doesn't get a long ball in, but finds Rooney nevertheless. Rooney and Gerrard linking up. It's a bit tight on the edge of the area. Kazakhstan clear. They move it up towards Nusabayev. Nusabayev now feeding it to Kizlitsin down the right-hand side. There's no real conviction, though, in the Kazakhstan play, but then there's no need for Matthew Upson just to lunge in there and concede an absolutely needless free kick.
He's got a few little tricks, Nusabayev, that I don't think has great effect on the game. You see little things, but there's very rarely any real end product from him. 7
minutes to go. Kazakhstan 0, England 4. Remember, 5-1 to England at Wembley, so it's been 9-1 on aggregate. Shot driven in again, and difficult really to assess Robert Green tonight. He hasn't had to do too much apart from those early moments. He was there with a very easy save. There was no sting in the shot, and now it's Wright Phillips once more at right back. Defoe looking for his first real touch in the game. That's a lovely ball by Wright Phillips to find Rooney down the England left-hand side. Ashley Cole's made a run. Rooney's sent it back to this near side once more. Beckham now controls the ball well and then gives it away. Wright Phillips had actually moved too far downfield, but he's won the ball back well, and Wright Phillips has had some good moments since he came on here at half-time. Barry now finding the unmarked Ashley Cole. Again, the ball rears up, just to underline what a poor surface it is here, and Ashley Cole did well to control it. Barry now turns and finds Rooney. Rooney finding space as Kazakhstan tire. Lampard to Beckham again. Defoe on the edge of the penalty area. Beckham plays it short, though. And it's back again now with John Terry, the captain. Terry to Barry. England passing and moving. Barry to Gerrard. And Barry once more. Barry, an awkward ball for Rooney to control. He scoops it back to the far side. And England start once more back inside their own half. And Kazakhstan are getting nowhere near the ball at the moment.
I think if they wanted to do now and not go forward, England could just keep this ball for the last 7 or 8 minutes of the game. They're getting no pressure on them whatsoever. They're just knocking it about now comfortably, much shorter passing.
Defoe's in the game for the first time. Wriggles around a challenge, and now Wright Phillips. Wright Phillips, the pass was too short to Beckham, and Beckham in the end pulls out as the challenge comes in on him from Ibrahim, and it's an England throw-in in front of the Kazakhstan bench. We just get a a picture of Fabio Capello sitting next to Stuart Pearce down there on the England dugout. He's just in front of him is the action at the moment. Beckham and Wright Phillips looking to link, and it's a throw to England just inside the Kazakhstan half. But it's all over as a meaningful contest now, with England leading 4-0. And Fabio Capello happy that England are going to survive this long journey, come away with the 3 points, and then head to Wembley for the final game of this international season on Wednesday night. Now Rooney getting away once more from any kind of marking. Barry to Lampard. Lampard back again to Upson. The passes are much more measured now than they were in the first 15 or 20 minutes. Beckham's knocked it forward looking for Gerrard, and that's overhit, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, it is now relatively easy for England. They're just moving about. They're getting no pressure from the opposition at all. As I said, they can just move it. I think the thing is, 4-0, 5-0, 7-0, 2-0, still only 3 points.
Yes. Capello has worked it out that if England win this one and beat Andorra, England will need 3 points. They may need 4, but they're moving in now as Gerrard goes forward and looks for Defoe. They're closing in on a place in the World Cup finals. It's a very different qualifying campaign from the previous one under Steve McLaren. England with a 100% record still after 6 games in this 10-game group. Here come Kazakhstan now with Skorik. Moving it a little gingerly forward down that right-hand side. Skorik again with the floppy hair. Up towards the edge of the area. Try to get it back again, but England have got loads of white shirts back, and Barry clear. Oh, it's a great ball from Barry. Rooney reaches for it. 2 defenders with him on that occasion, and we've got somebody very silly on the pitch at the moment, so the game will have to stop. And not the brightest thing to do as he runs and jumps into the back of the goal, celebrating what he thinks is a Kazakhstan goal. Instead, he's going to have a pretty unhappy rest of the evening, I would think, here in the city. They're piling in on him, dragging him away. And well, apart from that moment, it's been just a terrific evening, hasn't it, atmospherically? Well,
it has, and I wonder if we're going to see that lad again. He's over the boards now. He threw himself into the goal as if he was scoring a goal for his country, and then looked to get out of it and consistently got his feet trapped in the net. Now being carried away by 4 guards.
Wouldn't particularly want to be in his shoes right now, would you?
I think his shoes have gone already.
So the game restarts and the ball is back with Kazakhstan in their penalty area, and we have 3 minutes to go here. 5 Live and BBC World Service. Kazakhstan 0, England 4. A game that England just had to come through and had to win. Anything less than a victory would have been absolutely useless for them, really, having made such a great start in the group. Now, John Terry's just limping away from that incident. I think he's okay. He's just stretching. Right at the end of the game, the England captain just moving a little awkwardly, having gone in for the challenge by the corner flag, but I think he's all right. And not much time to go. England have made all their 3 changes. They have the ball again down this near side. Wright Phillips plays it hopefully into the Kazakhstan half. It's an overhead clearance by Logvinenko. Gerrard, boot was a bit high there against Karpovic, who's got a bit of a bang, but his team go forward, and there's a snapshot driven in once more by Kukayev, but Green had it covered, and certainly in the first 20 minutes or so, he was far and away Kazakhstan's brightest player.
Yeah, and he's moved into a central forward position and not been able to make his presence felt like he did when he was out wide on the left, really.
4-0 to England. Kazakhstan have lost virtually all of the home games they played in qualifying games over the last 3 campaigns. They did have a fantastic win here against Nemanja Vidic and Serbia, but they trail here by 4-0, and England are threatening once more because there's some very nervous defending by Kazakhstan. Beckham jumps with the defenders. And again the ball bounces up very awkwardly on Wright Phillips. Beckham trying to bring some composure to it. Not easy though here on this pitch. Kazakhstan going forward again. Nusabayev can't control it. England defenders are back. Upson and Terry are there, and the ball breaks back once more again to Robert Green.
Yeah, I think the problem must be the dryness of the pitch, because it does bobble. Not so. The biggest problem has been the bounce of the ball. So once it's going in the air and coming down, it's just bouncing abnormally high.
Rooney now. England playing out time. 40 seconds of normal time to go. There'll be a couple of minutes certainly at least of added time here. Barry, who started the ball rolling with the goal. Barry to Ashley Cole. over on the far side. He's used his hand, I think, because the referee's given a free kick against him. It's a long way away from here, Ashley Cole, but I think he used his hand, and now Kazakhstan moving it forward with no real ambition. Nothing like the way they started the game, when we had such a cup-tie atmosphere at kick-off time here. The game beginning 9 o'clock local time. It's now approaching 11 o'clock in the evening. Don't forget 6:06 is also approaching on 5 Live, as Gareth Barry once more wins the ball back for England and sends it at 3 minutes of added time. Gerrard for England. Oh, lovely ball from Gerrard to Rooney. Rooney on the edge of the penalty area. Defoe's available. Rooney went all the way and shot straight at the keeper.
Defoe looks a little bit upset that Rooney didn't see him and play it into him, but I think once Rooney was checking back in, he'd got nothing else in his mind but the shot.
Players you would pick out from England, Graham, who will be happy with their evening?
Goodness me. I think it's just generally the game has been won. They've got a performance. And I think Gerrard has done well. I think if you had to have a pick, he's moved about a bit, but generally, he's been positive in his play, not made too many mistakes. And once again, his own way, Ashley Cole's done nothing wrong, really. He's always been available.
Always available. He was there again, Ashley Cole, and he wants it again and nobody's picking him up at all. And he's just got licence down that far side, Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole still running strong here for England, running right across the field. Never scored a goal for England, by the way, Ashley Cole. On to Wayne Rooney, and now Wright Phillips again. Beckham, back again to Wright Phillips. Beckham not really been in the match since he came on, just a few little touches, and now the ball bounces again, and Gareth Barry manages to control it over on the left-hand side. So we've already played a minute and a half of the added 3, and now Jermaine Defoe for England. Defoe can't find Barry, there's a defender there, and he clears and finds touch over on the far side. Kazakhstan 0, England 4. Fabio Capello folds his arms and prepares for all the media obligations he's got in a few minutes' time. But I'm sure his take on this will just be, well, we've won, basically, won't it?
I'm sure it will be. Just looking at his face and what you said and being in his press conference yesterday, I don't think he's looking forward to it, even though we've won 4-0.
Rooney to Beckham. Last moments of this game. Beckham's going to try a shot, driven in. Look for the deflection. It wasn't there. It was clean, but it was wide. And it's a goal kick to Kazakhstan. Just a reminder of the goals, by the way, if you haven't been with us throughout. The first, England having real problems in the first half, and then a short corner which wasn't really spotted by Kazakhstan. Lampard to Gerrard. Gerrard's ball to the far post, and Barry came in. It was a poor goal. It was a good, well-taken header, but it was a poor goal defensively. Then right on half-time, Gerrard tried to deceive the goalkeeper off his line from a long way out. The goalkeeper could only just palm it out to Heskey, 2-0 at half-time. Then in the second half, Glenn Johnson doing well for England in an attacking way. Rooney scored at the second attempt. A penalty from Lampard after Heskey was bundled over. And there's been little in reply in the second half from Kazakhstan. But all that might change now. Shot comes in from Kukayev. Beckham takes all the sting out of it. Ball spins. There's a real off-break there in the penalty area, but Robert Green's measured it, and we only have 20 seconds to go.
Game just running out, hasn't it? In one respect, that's what it's been doing all this second half, really. It's just been a matter of how much do England want to, how many goals do they really want to score? And I think, as I said, it's 4-0. Handled it very well the second half.
We can't give you the complete league table, really, because Croatia are playing the Ukraine today, so we'll have to wait for that one. We did hear that Belarus were leading 1-0 against Andorra, but we can give you the result from this game because it's all over now in Almaty. A historic occasion for the country of Kazakhstan. They came out really steaming here and nearly scored after 20 seconds, but in the end they ran out of steam, and England won it comfortably. Graham, quick word from you finally. 4-0.
Played 6, won 6. What more can you say?
Says it all. Thank you very much indeed. Kazakhstan 0, England 4. And it's going to take us about 3 days to get back, I think.
Hope you get back in time for Wednesday night, otherwise I'll be very lonely all on my own mic at Wembley.